Welcome to English class, Unit 6, True Height. Students, can you name some sportsman name of the sportsmen who have achieved big goals in their life? You might have heard about so many sportsmen who have reached very big height, true height, in the sense it is not reaching a height, but it is reaching a goal in their life. Reaching a goal, we have achieved a goal in their area, in the sports area, respective areas. So here is a sportsman. The true height lesson says about a sportsman, Girisha, an athlete who reached a true height in his life, and how about his achievements and efforts for that. Michael Stone, a great player of pole vaulting, participate in National Junior Olympics competition at the age of 17 years. Let me give brief introduction about this athlete. You can see the picture, athletic. He crossed the 17 feet 6.5 inches height at which the pole was set for vaulting. Can see the sportsman jumping, high jump. How he is crossing the pole for the record. How he is jumping through it. It was how much height? It was 17 feet and 6.5 inches height, at which the pole was set for vaulting. Michelson's best personal record in pole vaulting was 16.07 inches. From his childhood, Michael had always dreamed at flying. Michael's mother read him numerous stories about flying when he was growing up. So from the childhood, he was hearing the stories from his mother. He would be running down a country road. He would feel the rocks and chunks of the dirt at his feet. Chunks means there were many hertz disturbances on the road. The road was irregular. He would begin soaring like an eagle. His father, Birdstone, was not a dreamer. He believed in hard work and sweat. Sweat in the means, when you make hard work, you will get sweat, no? So in that sense, he was making effort. From the age of 14, Michael did just that. He worked out every day and running work on alternate days. He was working with weights. The program was closely monitored by Michael's coach, trainer, and father. Constant preparation and determination were his strengths. When he lay on his back and heard the crowd groan, he knew the other vaulter had missed his final jumps, and it was time for his final jump. The bar was set at 9 inches height than his personal best. The intensity of the moment filled with his mind with anxiety. He became more tense and nervous. He imagined his father. She always used to tell him to take deep breaths when he felt tensed, anxious, or even scared. As he began sprinting down the runway, something felt wonderfully different, yet familiar. Michael's tone was now flying, just like in his childhood dreams, and succeed. His father and mother feels happy. There is no end for their joy. Michael was immediately swarmed with people hugging and congratulating him on the greatest accomplishment of his life. Michael's life would never be same because he had won the National Junior Olympics and set a new world record. Even he was blind. See, this was about a blind sports person. What you heard this story just now is about, he was, although an impairment in his leg. Okay. Not only that, he was blind. ಕುರುಡನಾಗಿದ್ದ. Now, with this introduction, let me start the lesson. Let me read aloud and you also follow the lesson. Nagarajegowda and Jayamma are farmers. Who were these? The parents of this, our important character of this lesson, who reached true height. True height in the sense, he reached his goal in the National Junior Olympics. He set a new world record in the National Junior Olympics, which was the greatest accomplishment of his life. So we say true height. True height. Nagaraji, Gowda and Jayamma are farmers. They live in Hosanagara, an obscure village in South Karnataka. It was what kind of village? It was unknown. Obscure means not famous village. On the midnight of September 3rd, 2012, Monday, they were waiting for a phone call from some 5,000 miles away. So, you can guess for whom they were waiting for. About a phone call from some 5,000 miles away means we are waiting for the call for their son. So, the call came. Their son's voice said, "Amma, I have one silver." Their joy knew no bounds. For that call, they became joyous. They became very happy by listening the sound through the phone call. Their son's voice, he said, he won silver coin. H.N. Girisha had won the silver medal in Paralympics in London earlier that night. So earlier that night in London, H.N. Girisha had won the silver medal. It was not Olympic, it was Paralympics. An 80,000 capacity crowd. It was about how many people? 80,000 capacity crowd. Some 2,000 Indians among them had cheered him lustily. See, all the Indian who were also gathered in 80,000 capacity, out of those 2,000 Indian were among them and cheered him lustily. You know, cheered. They screamed loudly, reaching with high energy. What they said? Lustily, full of strength. they cheered up him because he did such an achievement. When someone wins, at that time what you will do? You will cheer him, you will support them, you will encourage the people by giving claps, by whistling, or what you will do? You will scream, you will cheer. So like that the people did. Indian. About how many were there Indian? 2000 Indian. The 24-year-old young man had cleared a height of 1.74 meter using the scissors technique in men's high jump event. In which event? It was men's high jump event. He used scissors technique. Scissors are the tools. Scissors like to jump this. He cleared this much height, 1.74 meter. Girisha was born in an impairment in his leg. So by birth only his legs were impaired, not proper. Okay, impairment in his leg. We are all born with two legs which are equal in their height, equal in their strength, everything. Working, everything is correctly, both are proper. Impairment is one of the leg not proper, not good for walking or any activity. You can see this athlete, how he is jumping the height. Here two supports, and on this they keep a pole. From this pole he has to jump through it, on it, so that he should not touch it, and makes the record. And the people, you can see, they cheer up him. They cheered him with lustily, loudly. So in this story, 17 years old boy clears the bar that is set at 17 feet and 6.5 inches and gets the first place. But true height refers to another kind of height, his whole personality. It was a credit for his achievements. His palms were sweating. They were sweating because he was in that tension. He was making so much effort. A glass of ice water quenched his thirst, but hardly cooled his intensity. So at that time he drank a glass of ice water, quenched his thirsty, to fulfill his thirsty. And the turf he sat on was as hot as competition he faced today at the National Junior Olympics. So he was in the hot as competition. He was in the competition for this National Junior Olympics. How many years he was old? 17 years only. The bar was set at 17 feet. That was 3 inches higher than his personal best. See, it was higher than his personal. What he was achieved that it was more than that 3 inches. Michael Stone confronted the most challenging day of his pole vaulting career. The stand was still filled with about 20,000 people, even though the final race had ended an hour earlier. Confronted means it was a task for him, difficulty. So he faced difficulty. It was quite difficult for him. The most challenging, the day of his pole vaulting career. The stand was still filled with about 20,000 people, even though the final race had ended an hour earlier. It was ended an hour before only. The pole vault is truly the glamour event of any track and field competition. The pole vault is truly glamour. It was the center of attraction. That vault was the center of attraction. All people were looking towards the vault, that pole. So that was the attraction of that event. Any track and field competition. The sportsman combines the